This is the sixth time,
It's you and Steven, like,
sixth season,
one of us dies.
Emmy-nominated show, $1 Million Listing New York returns tomorrow at 9 p.m. on Bravo. Heather, we're homeowners.
Right.
And it was important to have these guys on because it's important to dream. Even as you're living the dream, you got to continue dreaming.
Yeah.
And I remember as a youth, my grandfather, who migrated here from Louisiana by way of some island, by way of some continent, eventually arrived in California. And he was a high school dropout. He went to work early on, as you can imagine, in that time, in his times when he grew up. And as I was growing up, a child of the 70s and 80s, one of the things he always emphasized to me is, son, when you make some money, buy property.
Yes.
He always told me, you don't need that car. That car will depreciate. You don't need those fancy chains and those clothes, as you can see to this day. I do not wear fancy clothes or chains, but I do own property. And so I'm always fascinated by these shows where you see these amazing, immaculate, beautiful properties and those that sell it. So welcome to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Steve, Ryan, and Frederick.
Thank you.
$1 Million Listing New York.
Welcome.
And these dudes are as clean and dapper as they are on the show, Heather B. Look at them.
They look great.
They look great, man.
Thank you.
Congratulations on everything, man.
Thank you. It feels really. We were just at the Today Show earlier, and I was saying to them that we feel. I feel so grateful. I mean, we don't take any of it for granted. And this last year, I think for all three of us, has been just unbelievable. I mean, real estate is crazy. The market is difficult but good, and you know, we worked hard to get here, so we're very thankful. Yeah.
When you say difficult, what do you mean?
Wobbly, like uneven. Like some things sell, some don't sell. You think you have the answer, then you don't know anything, and then you know it all, and it's very different than it used to be. It's harder to predict, and every month is like I don't have the answer.
It's very quick.
It's interesting.
So
The
quick.
show's been on. This is the 6th season now. It's my 1st season, but the market's changed since the show started. It used to be, like earlier on when you were doing it, bidding wars and this and that, and now the market's kind of shifted a little bit, and we're focusing more on buyers. I think it's going to be an interesting season where they start to see another side, and where we have to really work really hard for these deals.
What shifts the market like that? Is it when you have a new president? Is it something that happens on the stock market?
It's everything. I think people, I started, my first day in the business was September 15th, 2008, which was the day that Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy, which is why the only reason I remember that day. And it was kind of hindsight's 2020 because at the time I had no money. I was living in the worst apartment ever, and I was just excited to have a job. And, even since then, people, if politics are crazy, people use that as a reason not to sell or not to buy. If the stock market's crazy, people use that as a reason. If there's, if there's a new Bachelor episode on that night, that's a reason why they shouldn't do anything. People come up with lots of reasons why, and then it's our job to try to convince them around those reasons.
Just sidebar, in order to be a cast member on this show, you just got to be beautiful. Like, look at you. What the hell? These guys look amazing right now.
This is all makeup. We don't look like this.
Oh,
you
okay.
should have seen us like 5 a.m. when we woke up.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So right now, current state, are we in a buyer's market or a seller's market in New York?
I think we transitional, but we're in the buyer's market. We like maybe March, February transitioned into the buyer's market.
Buyer's market.
But it's a good market.
It's a good market.
Yeah, it's a good market to make offers. I think the one thing we've seen since January is, yes, the market is weird. It's crazy. We put things on the market, then we say, oh, we're going to sell this in a day. This is going to be great. And 6 months later, we have no idea why it hasn't sold. But people are making offers and sellers are negotiating, and that's what you want. You want people trading. You want people talking. Before it was before it was sellers saying, no, pay me. And then no deals would happen, and that's what causes this kind of wobbliness.
Okay, so what happened in 2007, 2008 when the market crashed, and is it possible that could happen again?
I don't know. I was still in school. I think Frederick's a senior here, so he can talk.
What happened to our economy with that happened?
What was it like way back then?
A lot of people were flipping houses. I got caught up. I have property in Arizona that I got caught up in that I had to get rid of, and it really hurt me badly.
I remember going to work every day. I mean, I worked twice as hard, but I didn't make any money. It was very, very scary. We went to work. We had all these listings. We was trying to get the buyers and the sellers to meet, and nobody met. And, that's our job. I always say I need to remind myself not to be sort of emotionally attached to the pricing or where the market is going, because as a real estate agent, all I need to do is to stay laser focused and get people to meet, right?
We have to deal with their emotions.
Yeah,
and
well,
then we
too.
have to be the rational kind of mind and bring it together and get the deals to happen.
Yeah.
But I think in 2008, the difference is that was a mortgage or sort of a bank meltdown, and we hopefully will not have that. This time around, it's we have a lot of inventory, and that's probably our fault, the three of us, because we are selling all these new developments. So developers have been building a lot, maybe too much in some segments, some neighborhoods, 5 to 12 million, I would say, 3 and 4 bedrooms, condos. There's too much inventory, but that is not necessarily like a bad thing. It's just that it takes longer to sell that.
Okay.
Let's be honest, though.
Let's be honest.
1 month absorption rate, that we were getting used to, and I think we were like kind of. We're lucky. It's not normal. We were spoiled. Yeah. Taking 6 months to sell a property, it's not. Abnormal. So it's kind of. I think the market in a way is normalizing. It's okay. We have this inventory. It's going to be absorbed over the next 4 years. It's just not. You're not going to sell it the first day.
Yeah, the average time to sell an apartment right now in New York is 400 days, which is scary. That's a lot. To me, that's long. That's too long. I don't think that's 400 days.
I sell things much quicker.
Well, you are who you are.
Right. I just want to put that on the record, right?
Okay. Go ahead, Mike Music.
I have a question. So in New York, we talk a lot about foreign investments in our apartments and homes here in New York, particularly Billionaires Row in Soho and Central Park West. How much of that is foreign investment? And then what has it been like lately in the last, I'd say, year or two with foreign investments into real estate property here?
I think it's I don't think it's a lot, actually. I think the media loves this notion of foreign investment. I mean, of course, some like big price point, a Chinese buyer, a Russian something makes headlines. But all of those buildings in the 57th Street corridor, like the majority is not actually at all foreign. It's, national or New York buyers, old money, new money, tech money. I mean, I would say maybe 20% just to make a number up here, not having anything to back it up, just my intuition, 25% maybe international, but it's not like the majority at all.
Yeah, but that's what gets written about is those big foreigners. I know that we speak to reporters all the time, and that's all they want to write about. And we'll say, well, actually, a guy from New Jersey just bought this really cool place. Do you want to write about that? And they say, nah, we don't care. No, we don't care about the Americans. We'll only write about really cool international people. Are they smuggling? Is it money laundering? Yeah. Even if it's not, can we say that? Like, no. I mean, say what you want, but
I think it was more a few years ago, but now, let's face it, New York's like the best city in the world to live in. Yeah. And you go there, you hustle, you make money, and you want to buy your place. You want to buy your next place. You want to upgrade. So I mean, it's a lot of New Yorkers, making their American dream, making it come true, coming here and making something of themselves. So you have a lot. It's a lot more local than people kind of get. And like Ryan said, the headlines just like to kind of this foreign money
your
coming
question,
in.
I think lately it's been less actually, because I think that's what you were asking. Less international because. The dollar has been so strong, but I always use that as an argument to the internationals. Like, that's why you should buy in New York, because the dollar is like, it's so strong, and it could get stronger. I mean, there's only one place in the world. I mean, trust me, New York is it's a bitch. It's a rough place to live sometimes. It's a lot. It's noisy. It's crazy. But I love it. And there's only one New York, and it's a little island. And there's only so much space, so it's always going to appreciate. I really believe that.
I'm using the strong dollar to get some people to sell. I mean, they bought when the dollar was half, and I said, if you get the same price you bought it for, you just made double on your money if you bring it back to your country.
Even if they sell for less money, they still make money because of the currency. Yeah.
Exactly.
This unfortunate trend we're seeing of celebrity homes being burglarized has taken over the West Coast. Right. So I'm interested in knowing what are the conversations you guys have as real estate agents around that? And does it make selling in New York City easier since we don't hear about it on the East Coast?
Well, I've never had it because I think the buildings here are so secure. Yeah. There's doorman, then there's the elevators, the key fob, and then it's like cameras. It's like the most. It's like fortresses. These buildings.
And I mean, if you're gonna go in and take stuff, I mean, it's gonna be a pain in the ass getting it downstairs or in one elevator trip
Well, you
and doing
take
it
a
real
fire
fast.
exit,
I mean, what are you
there's
gonna
cameras.
You can't come in with like 10 guys, ransack the place, and get out of there. I mean, it's harder in New York.
But I do think that kind of pushes, because everyone sees everything on social media, right? These celebrities, they post everything. They go to the
You do.
ATM,
I do.
pull out money, right? They post it on Instagram. They look at all my money, and then they show which room it's in. They say, "Look where I just put all my money," and then they're like, "Oh man, why did someone come and try to steal it?" It's like, "What, you idiots!"
You give them an invite.
in New York,
Yeah,
even
exactly.
even
You basically sent out an RSVP for where your money is.
Yeah.
Right.
Shit, this is true. I need to think about this.
Nah,
In
but
New York, it's a little.
New
it's a little
York,
harder.
you go out at 4 a.m. on the streets. These guys might be sleeping, but I'm still going.
Hey,
I am sleeping at that time.
He's
right,
waking up the next hour and going to the gym.
All right, we're
But,
going to come back with more questions for you guys, all right? $1 million listing, New York. Anything you want to know about real estate, call us, 888-742-3345.
Yes.
Sway in the morning. Now, one of my favorite shows to watch is on Bravo. Tomorrow at 9 p.m., season 6 begins. It's an Emmy-nominated show, $1 million listing, New York. Am I saying it right when I say Frederick?
Yes.
Friedrich.
I call him Frederick.
Okay. Steve is here. He watched me on MTV, Heather B.
I love it.
Yes.
Grown up as a young lad.
Yeah, we all did.
I did.
Yeah, of
Back
course,
in
man.
Sweden, like, I mean,
We get home and watch MTV at 3 p.m. It was
Of
awesome.
course.
Every day.
Oh,
man.
snap, man. Yeah, this is my team right here. This is my team right here. They're going to help me
We
resell
grew up
my...
on the East Coast, man. That's all we want.
That's what's up, man. And then also Ryan is here. They're going to help me sell my duplex when I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, only one of us will win the listing, so you know who you're going to
Yeah,
call.
we'll fight to the death.
Good. 'Cause you guys fight all the time, though, right? Is it
We're getting better, I feel like.
Yeah,
We're
you
growing
get-
up a little bit.
you're
Like,
growing
yeah,
up?
I mean, we fight, but we only fight about what's really important.
How were you assembled for the show? Like, who hires who
It's a
decides?
very scientific
We're
process.
the originals. Like,
Okay.
Ryan and I go back now. What, we've been filming 7 years. 2010 we started.
Yeah, the end of 2010.
That's a
Crazy.
long time.
Flies.
So why
And
you-
then Luis,
crazy.
when Luis
Who?
didn't want to do it anymore, they started the casting. I guess every broker in New York City, supposedly, they don't really tell us, but like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of brokers wanted to take over Luis's spot, and then here he
Steve
is,
came up.
Steve.
Did you like him when you first met him, or?
Steve?
Yeah.
No, I known Steve for 10 years. I actually
okay.
pushed the producers like, this is the guy because he's a good broker.
Season
like,
2, he was telling me to do
Yeah.
the show.
Oh,
and
really?
back then, I was just, it wasn't the right place in my life, my career, where I, and where in.
oh,
I
whatever.
mean, it
Well,
wasn't.
because we had
whatever.
season 1, we had Michael on the show,
Yeah, I remember
and then he left.
I love Michael.
And then we got Luis, and then he left, and now we have Steve. So hopefully Steve will stick around, huh, Steve?
Does the show help you do your job? Like when people recognize you, does
Yes.
it? Yeah.
I mean, it's like 55,000 real estate agents in Manhattan. I mean, it's crazy, the number. So how do you stick out? How do you put yourself, so when somebody's going to sell a duplex in Harlem, who do you call? Like, so it's
And
all
the commissions
about,
are the same.
Yeah.
That's what sellers tell me all the time. They say, listen, there's 60,000 real estate brokers in this city. I want to sell my place and get the most money. I want the most exposure for the
Yeah,
property,
totally.
and you're not charging me any more commission than the next guy. And then I'm like, wait, should I? Maybe I should, but we don't. And so it's a big thing. It's a big
I
deal.
think the
it's
show-
made our careers, really.
In this show, I always say, like, you can hate or love us as people, but I think one thing you'll see watching the show, all three of us, is we really care about what we do. I mean, we're
y'all
passionate about real estate. We
passionate,
we
very
move
passionate.
mountains for our
Yeah.
clients,
And
and
our
that's what you want to
clients.
see
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
from us. So
A lot of times it starts as a business relationship, but so many of my clients have become really close friends.
Wow, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Well, this question is for each of you, and passion aside, like, if you could pick one thing you seen in an apartment when you walked in and was like, oh shit, like this is fly. I've never seen this before. Could you share a little bit of that?
Oh man.
Oh, I mean, I think, a general thing
Yeah,
for
like
me.
maybe something you saw, like somebody had like a stripper, like
like a crazy
like a
thing.
crazy thing you saw in the apartment. Was like, this is crazy. I've never
my
seen.
God.
Tell them
we
about
s-
that sex room you were telling me about.
Ooh.
I did not tell you about sex
That wasn't
room.
you?
No, that was in your dream.
Christian Grey.
All right, we're going to go to the phone lines. Can you think of anything? though?
I could.
Well,
I mean, it's just like every day. I like the art. I'm a big art guy,
Oh,
so I mean,
okay,
like
yeah.
you see like original Basquiat's and just
Yeah.
hanging on the wall, things like that. And I don't know. It's funny. Every day I do this job, we make great money, but we feel poor every day because we're
Yeah.
selling these properties where it's like,
I want a panic room. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I've had clients who have that like behind a secret wall, and
Oh,
but
wow.
you're in a condo building. It's not like you're in some house in the hills, and
Yeah.
it's like, where did this room even? How do you even fit this room?
You
Where did
add-
it come from?
You add that to the listing description. It comes with a panic room.
Yeah, sometimes.
I
yeah, I
got
think that's awesome.
One of the listings we shot this season of mine has a gold bathtub. You'll have to see it. It's
Like real gold.
Solid gold?
It's gold.
Wow. All right.
Like your name.
We got Nisha on the line from Arkansas. Good morning, Nisha.
Hey,
Good
Nisha.
morning, Sway. Good morning, everyone. How are
Good
you all
morning.
doing?
Hi.
Hi,
Okay.
beautiful.
Oh, so my quick question is, I'm getting ready to sell my house, and when I bought my house, my student loans weren't included in my debt-to-income ratio. So I wanted to know, like, since they're including that, you have to include it now. Is that going to go away soon? Is it creating a problem for people in real life, or not celebrities? What do you guys think about that?
When you're looking to sell or to buy?
To buy.
So when you're looking to buy something, the real estate broker that you're working with, or the banker or the attorney, they're going to look at what your total monthly expenses are, and they're going to use that against what you're able to afford, whether it's student loans or credit cards or grocery bills. They'll look at everything, and that's a big difference between now and 2008. They didn't used to look at everything, and now they really want to make sure that people aren't overextending themselves. So it's a good thing. So I think the answer to your question is yes. But banks have been good lately. They've been easier than they have been in the last couple of years.
But student loans, I sorry to jump in. I mean, it's something that you should try to keep as long as possible because your rates are so low there. So I mean, I would before paying that off, take less of a mortgage.
Okay, so my thing is, like, if they're deferred or you're not paying them right now, and they're still including that in your debt to income ratio, like, it creates a problem, like, for the bank, like, it can't get the lending.
Well, I would get a really good mortgage broker. I always say, like, when you go to the banks, they are banks, and they're great. We love banks, but you need a mortgage broker. Like, we're real estate brokers, so we help with the transaction of the real estate, but we don't answer maybe this complicated question because that's what mortgage brokers do. And the mortgage broker connects you with all of the banks, and then he can or she can shop you around and put this deal together and really negotiate with these banks. So don't just walk into a bank office and say, I want a mortgage and this is my ratio. You need to really be smart and get a really good, like, the best mortgage broker. You can Google that and find somebody who can represent you.
I had a great mortgage broker, Nisha. I could recommend you. Hit me on Instagram.
I will.
All right. Real Sway. Okay. All right. Yeah, man. They want to know all your information
Too
now,
much.
man. They want to
Everything.
every account, every savings, every investment, all that shit. I'm like, I didn't give them all that. Brian, what up? I'm not doing all that. Brian in Orlando, go ahead. What's your question?
Hey, Brian.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for the time.
What's up?
Pretty much my question is, I'm a newer real estate agent, and newer buys in like 3 months. And, we watch your show, and it looks, you guys make it look easy, which I know, especially doing it now, it's not easy. What kind of advice do you have to people who are starting out new and, kind of taking that gut check to realizing that it's not as easy as it seems?
I don't think it's easy. I mean, maybe the show makes it look easy, but I think I mean, it's hard to talk about the show because we are on the show, so maybe we see it from the inside, but we do lose a lot of deals on the show, and you kind of see, at least in our faces and our voices, like how difficult that is, and to pick yourself up and go again. I mean, I always say my number one tip to anyone getting in the industry is give it 5 years. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like learning French or a language. Like, you have to, and I wanted to quit so many times over the first 5 years, and then after 5, like the 6th year, something happens, and you're like, wow, I'm actually really good at this, but it's the most difficult industry to get into. The first 2 years are just horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, you make no money the first 6 months.
It's a long learning curve, but it's like a snowball. So, I mean, if you have the patience, I think, one, have patience. You know, it takes a while to get going. You got to learn, and you got to kind of like let people know you have the knowledge and then trust you with that. So that takes time. So you got to be patient, number one. Number two is, know your products. I think real estate brokers, the best ones, they know everything. Ask Ryan or Frederick about any building. They'll say, I've been in that one. I've been in that apartment. That's the best line. You want to face southwest because in the north you got obstruction. Knowing that, they could just say that, just let it snap. And that's knowledge. If you have that knowledge, you'll get those clients. It just takes time. So just be patient and you'll get there.
All right, Brian, thanks for your call. I'm going to take one more caller from Chicago. Bobby, what up, man?
Yo, Bobs.
What's up? What's up, Sway? How y'all doing this morning?
Doing okay. How about yourself?
I'm good. I had a question, man. I've been renting my entire life. You know, I've been, I guess, throwing away money is what they call it, and I'm starting to seriously take my finances, you know, serious. I just wanted to know the biggest do's and don'ts for first-time home buyer. Like, I mean, what is some things that you guys have seen fail for first-time home buyers, or you know, what I mean, or some good advice you can give for somebody that's just getting into that type of market?
Don't overextend.
Yeah.
We see that a lot in New York City for sure. Yeah. But throughout the country, I mean, that was a big problem that we had a while ago, was that, you know, you get very, very excited about different types of homes, and, you know, if I just borrow a little bit more money, you know, I'll make it up, and I really want that pool or whatever you're looking at. So just, you know, live within your means, live within your comfort zone. Don't overextend. You'll be happier. You'll be stress-free. You'll be excited. Build up equity, build credit, and then sell. Make a little money, go into the next thing. But don't try to get your dream house today if it's your first purchase. Take it one step at a time. You got a lot of life to live.
Yeah. Hey, Bobby, thanks for your call, man. You're a citizen. Dan from Pennsylvania, and Alan from Pittsburgh, Heather from North Carolina. Anybody, you want to reach these guys, reach them directly. They all got social media. Let's start with Frederick. How can they reach you, man?
Frederick Eklund NY. God, that sounds difficult.
Frederick
no one's gonna remember that.
Well, FredrickEklund NY. Steve, what about you?
Mine's easy. Steve X Gold.
What does the X stand for?
Yeah, what does the X stand for?
Only some people get to know that.
Steve,
yeah, DM Steve X Gold, and he'll show you what the X is.
He's a lot of people's ex.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right, Ryan, about yours?
And I'm Ryan Serhant, Serhan is in Nancy, T is in Thomas. I have to say that all the time. People are like, Serhamp? What is it? Sertrance? What is it?
Hey, man, these guys are great, man. Watch the show. It's on Bravo. I watch it all the time. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m., man.
Thank you.
Very entertaining show. Even separate from even the real estate, just watching y'all interaction, and it's extremely, from beginning to end, you're going to enjoy this show.
Thank you.
Guys, thanks for coming by.
You're the man. Thank you, everybody.
Man, you're going to all take a picture in a moment, too. Willie Esco is up next. Sway in the Morning, Shade 45.
It's Sway in the Morning, only on Shade 45.